Miracles don't happen still. Nah, I can't keep track. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. When I was a girl each week, Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest as he would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Wine from water is not so small, but an even bigger miracle is that anything's here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of air. It used to be a world out there, heaven sinking rain and me down. Now I walk with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Wine from water is not so small, but an even bigger miracle is that anything's here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a holy verse. Made me wanna bow my head. I remember when church got out, how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
Maria Christina.
Welcome, Maria
Is
Christina.
back in the house. It's been a while, yeah? And keeping the beat right next to her is Louise. Hey,
Yes.
Louise. Good morning.
Maria will be here for a couple of weeks in August, so we're happy to have you. Thank you for coming back. So welcome, everyone, to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. We've changed things up a little bit. You are in a Science of Mind center where we practice the science of mind and spirit. And what I like to say is it's very simple. We practice two things, love and law. Love and law. Everything is love. Spirit is love. Spirit is that ever-creating force in the universe. And the law is automatic. What we give out from that place, that's really love. If we're not putting out love, it just means we're covering love up. But whatever we put out is like a pebble that we drop in a pond, and it just ripples out, and it ripples back to us. So love and law is what Science of Mind and Spirit is all about. Yes?
And when you put those two together, you find out who you really are, right? So, a little bit different here, but who's here for the very first time?
Somebody in the room
Somebody
here
is
for the
in
first
the room for the very first
That
time.
gentleman over there. Aren't you here for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
he was here.
Well, let's pretend you were. Let's pretend we are. The second time was like the first time. But there's a song about that. But here we go.
Second time around, I think.
Exactly. Well, we know something about you, and we know something about the people that are watching live stream right now. Hello, everyone. We know there's some new people out there, too. And we also know that Sherry and Tom, I said I'd do a shout out in Auburn, California. But for those new people, we know something about you, and we're going to let you know right here, right now, in this divine moment, and that is that, what? You are magnificent. And you're not alone, because we know that about ourselves, because we're mirrors for one another. So I see you, you see me, I see magnificence because I am magnificent. Let's say it together, shall we? I am magnificent. And I see you couch people up there. Say something to the next time. Tell them how magnificent they are. Tell them how your kids are. And in this room, you point, let them know that they are magnificent. Right here, right now.
Yeah,
You are magnificent.
You are magnificent.
Dr. Peggy's magnificent. There's another magnificent. Ray. Jonathan back there is magnificent.
Oh, she's ready.
Okay.
All right, are we
Opening
ready?
song?
We're ready for our opening song.
Meditation?
No, we're
No. Opening
new
song.
agenda, everybody. New agenda. There you go. So no, it's okay. Just keeping you on your toes. You wouldn't want to think that it's always the same, would you? But this is our opening song. Clap, move your body. Change is good.
Love is healing everything. We are ever opening, rising up to spread our wings. We're all one in love. We're all one in love. All that we're made of reveals here in love. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine.
You are so shining that I need sunglasses in this moment. Let me just tell you right here, I am blinded delightfully by the light of each and every one of us. And we have come together through change, through lots of change, but one thing that stays constant. One thing that stays constant, and that's who and what we are, and that is good, that is God, that is heart, that is love, that is everything ever imaginable. Because we have full access right here to the divine. Full access, not part, not some, not a little. No, we have full. Can I hear you say full access? How much access do you have? I thought so. So knowing that we are full, we are filled up with spirit, we are filled up as love. I am vibrating at the frequency of the divine, and I love it, and I marinate in it, and I am it. I am it. So we know that, and we let this time together, this divine time together, unfold perfectly, easily, lovingly, graciously. As together we affirm as one. And so it is. Let it shine.
We are ever opening. Love is healing everything. We are ever opening, rising up to spread our wings. We're all one in love. We're all one in love. All that we're made of reveals here in love. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine.
Woo!
Yes, that was the second cup of Java, spiritual Java that we needed to get ourselves going, right? Okay, we have something else. Oh, just get in your seats. Everything's different today. I love it because we haven't had enough change in our life. We haven't had anything about that. But I do want to invite up one of our wonderful, brilliant students, Jamie Prem, as she's coming up here. This month we have dedicated, let's give it up before I go on to, look at you. Oh. So this is what's happening here this month where it's all about inspiration. So we thought, it would be a great idea to bring different people up from this beautiful community and from our classes to let you know a little bit about what inspires them about. Oh, yeah.
That's the mic you can use, I think. Is that the mic she can use, Jonathan? Yeah. Okay.
So once again, Jamie Pram.
Aloha, kakahiaka. Good morning, everyone. I am so grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit about my love for the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. And in honor of our theme of inspiration, I wanted to share a little bit about my journey to the eternal now. So prior to walking into these doors, I used to pray to an outside God, and I waited to be deemed worthy of the things that I wanted. And I felt a feeling of separation. And I knew that there was something missing, something that wasn't quite right about all of it for me. And prior to walking into these doors, I didn't know very much about this philosophy. I didn't know very much about, the New Thought movement. And unbeknownst to me, I had started to pray to an inner God and had that conversations with that God inside of me. So, I luckily, and as is divine timing, found my way to the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai through an incredible being that I had known through our 12 Steps programs that I had been involved in. And that's where I started my journey with prayer and meditation. It was divine timing that a year ago, I was in desperate need of inspiration. And a year ago, I was led to walk through the doors here of the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. And after my very first Sunday service, I was inspired to buy our text. And I dove into that and started reading the daily readings in the back, and I just needed to know more. After I had started learning about this thing called spiritual mind treatment, I needed to know what it was all about. And my need was directly answered by a class on prayer and meditation. So I took that class. It was amazing. I took that class, and I learned all about spiritual mind treatment, the 5 steps, and I learned a lot about what this philosophy is. And I started to really delve into meditation and to spiritual mind treatment. And through classes and Sundays, which still serve as my weekly inspiration, I started to find confidence in my treatments. I started to notice the demonstrations happening, and everything that I believed in, and it just all started clicking. I started feeling that I was a part of this infinite being. I started to understand what infinite being actually meant, and I could speak with confidence in these treatments that I started to do on a daily basis. That's still the very first thing I do once my eyes pop open is do a spiritual mind treatment. And it has just led to an amazing life, and things that pop up that are challenges. I know that that it's meant to be, that I'm supposed to learn something from them, and it allows me to walk through them with ease and comfort. With these spiritual mind treatments, with these classes, with these Sunday services, I have recognized my oneness with the being that I choose to call God. And I have seen these demonstrations manifest in my life. This center and the people that make up our family inspire me every day and every moment. And I am so grateful to be a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. I am so grateful to have the hope, to not have to hope for what I want anymore. I know, as Emma Curtis Hopkins says, that there is good for me and I ought to have it. And so it is.
Woo! Oh, that's
Thank you,
beautiful.
Jamie.
Thank you. Oh, you can give it to Charles. And so, no, we're just doing a little, Peggy's coming up next, so we want everybody to feel good about everything. Thank you, Jamie. That was so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Wonder who's up next week, Sue Wood. Oh, how'd that happen? That was supposed to be a thought. It turned out a word. Thank you so much.
you.
And we have just watched you bloom and grow, my wonderful, wonderful daughter.
So we're starting something else this week, and it is the month of inspiration, is that we're going to do an affirmation together every week. It'll be the same one throughout the whole month, but today Dr. Peggy's going to lead us in the affirmation. You get that mic over there. She did just celebrate it.
I've been told I can celebrate for as many days as I
Look
am old. I'm
gorgeous.
going for it, man. Good morning. An affirmation is such a powerful tool, so I want to invite you to join with me. We're going to say, I'll say it first so you know what it is, and then we'll say it together 3 times, okay? It is, I am inspired to be my greatest me. Ready? I am inspired
To be my greatest me. I am inspired to be my greatest me. I am inspired to be my greatest me.
And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, I think you are staying up here too. Okay, so thank you for that. And yeah, thank you. So it's time for our peace candle now and our meditation. And what I wanted to just, I am so like touched lately by all the ministers and priests and all the clergy in the world that are doing their best to hold everyone in consciousness during this time. And I just want to dedicate the peace candle to all people that hold, in all faith workers that are holding people in consciousness at this time. Because I see how hard they're working and how much they need our support and our love to infuse them and allow them to continue, because it can get tiring. So tiring in that we know we're confronted with new things all the time, but we want to make sure that everyone is inspired. So let's just hold them in our love right now across the globe, all people that hold that light for us. Thank you. And so it is. And now Dr. Peggy will take us further into contemplation.
So I invite you to just sink more deeply into that space, into that inner sanctuary, to take another good deep breath and really settle in. And as we reflect on these beautiful words of Ernest Holmes, I also invite you to think about that full moon tonight and his beautiful words. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. I'm going to say it a second time, and then let's move within together. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. In spiritus, spirit within, the energy and source of all life, the power and force of wisdom and beauty and intelligence and joy and peace and wholeness and abundant good everywhere present, living and moving and having its being within me and within all beings everywhere throughout the universe. This incredible force, this incredible spirit is the spirit of life. It is my life. It is our life. It is the life of all beings. And within it is that divine guidance, that divine wisdom, that divine intelligence, which as we tap into it, evolves into inspiring ideas, energy that moves us forward, energy that inspires the moon to spread its beams across the waves, and in the same way inspires us to dig deep within to discover the greatness within ourselves, to know that each of us, I am, and each of us are whole, perfect and complete in this moment right now. In that divine embrace, in that divine energy, in that divine spirit, each of us is a whole expression of the Divine One. That pattern of perfection that moves through me and each of us, of wholeness, revealing perfect wholeness, perfect health, perfect wellness, allowing us to feel the full freedom of that divine energy expressing, to know this intuitive sense within each one is the intuitive power that provides spiritual coin, spiritual energy, and abundant good. For as we are inspired, so we inspire others. We are blessed by this wholeness, we are blessed by this abundance, and we are blessed by wonderful relationships, in relationship with spirit, with life, with ourselves, and with all people everywhere, to know that we are spreading moonbeams of good wherever we go. And to know most of all that we are whole, we are one, we are blessed. And in gratitude for all of this good and so much more, I release my word now into the mind and heart, the love and law of the One, as we join together in agreement by saying, and so it is.
Worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
That was just absolutely exquisite. And thank you, Dr. Peggy. That was amazing and so helpful. So I think there's somebody inspiring in the audience. Are you celebrating a birthday? I think you told me it was August 2nd. Okay. Oh, happy birthday to Gabriella. She's an inspiration to all of us. Yes, she's letting us know she's 80. Okay. Ooh. The magical number 8. There you go. 8, 10 times. Wow. This is going to be a great year for you. It already is, right? So our theme this month is inspiration. I'm already so inspired thank you, Jamie. Thank you for the music and the treatments and the inspiring people that are in this room right here and now. And the reason I did that thing with the faith workers is because I go on the internet and I know people personally that are working so hard to keep their congregations together and to give that spiritual. They're just like working overtime to be able to do it, and I see them giving so much, and I just wanted them to have a moment of our support and love to keep going, because our job as ministers and as church leaders, or whatever you want to call us, is to make our job obsolete. That's our job. So we know that someday we're going to be out of business, which is great, because right? So, but for now, we need to be here, and we need to keep inspiring and being inspired. So our talk title this week is "Next Floor, Please," I believe. Remember, I don't know, some of us might remember getting on elevators, and when there were I guess there still are elevator operators, right? In certain places. Maybe I haven't seen any lately, but but what does it mean? Like, well, for one thing, we're actually the elevator and the elevator operator. Yes, get it? Yes. We're the life force, and we're the operator. We're the love, and we're the law. And we get to direct where we want to go. So what does it mean to be an operator of your life? And what does it mean to go up or to go down? Like when you say next floor, please. Well, I believe there's no such thing really as going down, because we can only go up. We can only go up in consciousness. Once we start to go up in consciousness, I believe there's a spiral, and we just continue to go up. And even if we feel like we're going down, we're still coming down with a higher consciousness, because like the great mystics have said, once a mind is expanded, it can't go back to its original size. So I just want to remove, because life is not linear, it's circular, it's ever circling. So I would like to get out of my mind that there's a linear way that life is lived. And so lately, I want to talk a little bit about established premises, because this affirmation we just said, which is I'm inspired to be my greatest me, that affirmation is an established premise. That means that you're always inspired to be your greatest me. So when you walk into a situation that seems less than inspiring, you get to say that to yourself and find the way to be your greatest me in that situation. That's how you use an affirmation, because if we don't use them, then they're just, right? They just don't mean. I mean, Ernest Holmes said inspiration without what was it? Inspiration without application is hallucination. So when we get these affirmations, whatever our particular ones are, we need to use them. And as we use them, then our consciousness lifts and it gets higher and higher, because what are we doing? We know in scientific terms, we're basically rewiring our brains. We're rewiring it because we're so set in our patterns that it's easy for us to go back to the way we thought before, to take the past with us. But when we can create affirmations that have a meaning for us, and if that one doesn't work for you this week, make another one up that's similar, that makes you feel that movement in your consciousness. Because once you do that, then you're going to rise. You're going to rise. You have to. It's law. It's law. You're going to be putting that pebble in the water. Like I said before, it's going to be rippling out, and it's going to be coming back to you. And you're going to be ready for whatever is coming your way. So I had like an affirmation this week that I was going to say. I was going to be, because I knew the theme was going to be inspirational, or inspiration was our theme for the month. So I just set out this week and just said, I'm just going to be inspired. No matter where I go, I'm going to find inspiration there. I'm just going to find it. It's going to be there for me. And even when it doesn't look inspiring, I'm going to find something about it that's inspiring. And it works. All right. So it's easy to be inspired on Kauai. We're so fortunate. We're so blessed that we live here, that we've chosen to live here, because I don't think we're lucky. I think we actually made an actual choice and found ourselves here, and we found ourselves here right now at this time. So it's easy to get inspired, right? And then I know my friend used to say when I first moved here, when we were first starting our ministry, and he'd say, well, at least if you ever get discouraged, all you have to do is go out and look at the ocean. Right? And you do. And how could you not be inspired by that? Is like Peggy was saying in her affirmation, that same power that's holding those, bringing those waves in and holding the stars in the sky and keeping the planets in force is the same exact power that is our power, and we have full access to it. We express it differently, but we have full access to it. But sometimes I think we don't really totally believe that, and that's why we get the challenges we have that really, and don't see them as opportunities, because we're always going to be challenged. I don't think that we're ever not going to be challenged, because I think it's part of evolution. I think challenge is part of it, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be something that's hurtful. It can be something that we can look at and allow ourselves to move higher in consciousness, which is what the next floor is all about, right? So the other thing is that I was a big thing for someone that runs the center, and even all of us, because I noticed I was doing treatments for abundance on Facebook this week. I did one, I think, and it had a lot of hits, and I was like, oh my God, people must be really feeling that thing about money right now. And if we really realized that money was energy, it's all it is, it's energy, it's just our energy. And if we could just bring it down to that level, that it's our energy, bring it up to that level, we would never be afraid, because we would know that we were always provided for, no matter what. I'm reading a great book right now, I'm so sure some people have read it here, called The Masters of the Far East. And I love this book. It's really fantastic. It's actually 5 books or something. But one thing they said in it was that everything appears when you need it. It's like sometimes I think when you require it, it's like sometimes like they had to walk over water at one time. It wasn't like walking over water because they just wanted to say, hey, look, I can walk over water. They were walking over water because they needed to get to the other side, and that was the way to go. And not all of the people believed it, but this one group did. So they walked. So they had a belief system that everything is provided for whenever you need it, whenever it's not needed even. You have no needs, really. Emma Curtis Hopkins said that. If we can get to a state in life where we have no needs, that we always trust and know that we're provided for no matter what, then that's an affirmation. My finances are secure. That's an already established premise, we call it. My finances are secure. I'm always provided for. God is the source and substance of my supply. Always, always, always. And then anytime you're confronted with something, you go back to that. It works. It works. But it's easy to fall into the world of conditions, especially these days. It's so easy, and there's so many people out that are suffering right now, I know, with lack of jobs and all of that. We can help them. We can help them by bringing our consciousness higher and showing the way, and then giving when we can give, and receiving when we can receive, because some people don't want to receive either. That's another part of the thing. So what's the next step, the next floor for CSL Kauai? Really? COVID seemed to put like a stop on it in a way at first. Not a stop, but it was like we were expanding, like we were growing. This place was filled, and we were like, oh, we're going to need a bigger place and all of that. But a bigger place is really a bigger place in consciousness. And like I said, when we got challenged by this, we have to raise our consciousness to say, what are we really here for? What is our next step? What are we here for? All of us, because we're all CSL Kauai. What are we doing here? And I think we can all ask ourselves that question. What are we doing here? For me, I know what I'm doing here is to raise my consciousness so high that I'm never, ever affected by anything, and that I use the full capacity of the law of mind. Because the law of mind, that's another big thing in that book, which I thought, this is Science of Mind, this book. I think it was written the same year Ernest Holmes wrote the textbook. I think it's like 1927 or something. But I want to be able to use that law to its full capacity, to know that when I speak my word, and I'm pretty good at it, but I'm not there. I'm not there all the way. But when I don't say take no for an answer, and then when I look at everything that's showing up as an answer, if that makes any sense, it's like when we watched the Celestine Prophecy this Friday, which is a great film. You can get it on Amazon Prime, so if you have never seen it or never read the book. But I remember when he would follow his intuition, and then he would get confronted, like something awful would happen. But then it would lead him to exactly where he needed to be. But he didn't trust it at first. So then he started to trust it. So sometimes we say, we give a treatment, a spiritual mind treatment, or whatever you do for your prayers, and stuff starts showing up that looks like it's not answering. This is like what's happening here. I'm going downhill at this. I'm supposed to be going up here. It is an answer, because it always is an answer. And if we can trust that it's always an answer, then we're always going to get our answer. Because the answer to the prayer is in the prayer. So if the answer isn't there right then, it just means you got to go deeper, and you got to lift more, and you got to look at what's there, because whatever's there you're not happy with is the thing that's standing in the way of the answer that you really want, if that makes any sense. And it's there for your good. Because another one of my affirmations is the universe is always conspiring for my highest good. It's always conspiring for my highest good, no matter what. No matter what. No matter what. And it's the no matter what that's the important part of that. Because it's easy to say the universe is always conspiring for my greatest good when everything's going fine. But then you're confronted with something and you have to say, no matter what. No matter what. So, inspiration, raising higher. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, when you become inspired, you see a possibility that you haven't seen before. And that possibility causes your body to feel energy and tap into an emotion of the future. That possibility causes your body to feel energy and tap into an emotion of the future. So it's the emotion that's taking us to our next thing. If we don't feel excited about where we're going and what we're doing and what we want to do, and not doing, what we're being in life and what we want to create for our lives, it's the emotion that's going to take us there. And that's, if we want to look at it and we say, oh my God, why isn't things not happening for me? Why am I not going to my next step? Whatever. Look at what you're feeling, because it's the prevalence of that emotion that's really affecting this law of our being. So it's so important to be excited about what we're doing and what we're creating in our lives and where we're going with Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. It's important, like Patrick and I, to inspire ourselves. I mean, for all of us, there's so many ways to get inspired. It's like you couldn't say there's no way for me to get inspired, because there's so many ways to get inspired. You just turn on YouTube, and so. Train of thought I was going, though, is that I've been really inspired and wanting to do more. It's interesting, because when I see things that are going wrong, like I see things that are awful, that might be awful in the world, it makes me inspired to be more of who I am. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. But it's kind of an interesting thing, because you could some people, you might get discouraged when you see the awful things. But for me, and what we call awful, people suffering, and, I don't want to name them all here and just go bleh. But, but we know what they are. We know what they are. But when we see them, it could be a source of inspiration for us to be more of who we are and more of what we want to be in this world. It's like, one of the major things is for us to find our purpose, that's our whole journey, is to find our purpose for being here and to create that purpose in our life, whatever it is. And I'm not talking like starting a business or something like that. I'm just talking about the purpose of who you are and why you're here, why you're still here, because guys, we're still here, so there's going to be a purpose. Ruth is still here. Well, I know what you do. You inspire every day. That's your purpose. To be inspiring and to inspire. So, yeah, so when everybody finds their purpose and lives it, I feel like this whole planet's going to change. And of course, it's like we have that saying, a world that works for everyone. In Science of Mind and Spirit, that's our, like, a world that works for everyone. That's our vision for the world. But we got to be careful with that because a world that works for everyone, you know, my world might not work for that world, or that world might not work for my world, because that world might be pulling the energy down. So I like to think of it as a world that works for everyone in the highest consciousness, and just so nobody misinterprets what that means. If you know what I mean, Dr. Peggy. So, because everybody can say, well, my world works this way. But anyway, so finding our purpose and then living that, realizing that we're always evolving, we're always getting hot, we're always spiraling upward. Even after we leave here, we're spiraling upward. When we ask for something, when we demand something from the universe, we don't even ask for it, we just demand it. We place our order on the universal law. It has to come back to us. The ripple effect has to come back. It has to. And whatever shows up, we have to know that that is showing up for a reason, and it's individual to all of us, so we can look at it and we can say, what is it that I need right now in my consciousness so that I can continue to go toward what I want to go toward. And then put no limit on principle, Ernest said. Principle is law and love and law. Put no limit on it. Limitation is not a principle, nor in law, but only in the individual use we make of the principle. We're the ones that limit principle. It's not limited. Isn't that a wonderful thing? I mean, to me, it's like so exciting. And it's such a journey. I mean, it's like, I got so excited. I was really inspired this week because I was like, God, there's just so much that I can expand. There's so much if I just keep it straight and narrow on that thing, you know, the eye of the needle. I think that's what that means. It's hard to get through the eye of the needle because that eye of the needle is so focused. It's so focused. It's not like limited beliefs or whatever, or, you know, my way, your way. It's a consciousness that says that divine presence lives within me. I have this law of my being that when I place an order, it has to come back to me. It has to. There's no, and everybody's individual journey as an individual, like you'll say, you know, I'm always amazed when people like, what do I want to say? They look for the reason why it's not happening. We call it arguing for your limitations. And so you'll say, yeah, and then they'll go, yeah, but what about all the sick people and blah, 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 you know, no, just stay focused on yourself and what you need to do in order for, you know, for that to be eliminated from the world, because there will come a time. One of the things of our teaching is that we are progressing out of all of that war and disease and poverty and all of those things. We have to be, or we'll still be doing the same thing 100,000 years from now that we're doing now. And we are like at the brink right now to be able to move ourselves through it and out of it. So place no limit on principle. And we spoke at IROC this week, and they asked us, what can we as individuals and communities do to assist the planet during this time? We all have to just look at ourselves and say, what can that be? Well, obviously we can vote. That's something in the world of form we can do. But there's also other things we can do and be. We can be an inspiration to others. We can raise ourselves. We can start with ourselves, because that's really where it starts. And that's what we can do, I think. That's the place to start. If you don't know where to start with yourself and clean it all up. Ho'oponopono your life. So when you ask yourself the question, I'm going to close with this, of what's next, and I'm going to be asking myself this question this week. If this was my last day, what would I regret? If this was my last day on earth, what would I regret? because that's mostly what people do at the end of their life. They regret the things that they didn't do or whatever. They had some urge. So I would just ask us all to ask ourselves that question in an uplifting, beautiful way. And not necessarily like, oh, well, I didn't do that or I didn't. But what was it within us that was expressing through us that if we didn't express it, whatever it is, that we would regret that? Because we all don't know, right, when we're going to be leaving, when we're going to be going on to our next expression. So what next? If this were my last day, what would I regret? And put no limit on principle. Namaste. Maria, go for it.
May we all be happy. May we all be free. May we all realize our divinity. May we all be led from darkness into light and forgive easily. And love and be loved, love and be loved unconditionally. Aham prema, aham prema, aham prema, aham prema, aham prema, aham prema, aham prema. Everything's getting better now. Now everything is better. Everything's getting better now. Now everything is better. Everything's getting better now. Now everything is better. Everything's getting better now. Now. Om Shanti Om. 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 Om Shanti Om.
Mahalo. Rita said, now that's an affirmation. That's a strong affirmation. Oh, I had this great thing that has nothing to do with that, but you know me. So I was sitting over there, and I was picturing, remember that Christmas movie about Elf, I think, is it called Elf? And when he got on the elevator, and he had the child, and he's going and pushing every single button. Oh, my God, have you ever felt like that in your life, that every button's been pushed? And you're like, I'm going up in consciousness, and then you look and all the lights are on, and you're like, oh my God, we're going to have to go one after another, And that was my inspiration. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. No. But next floor, please. But that is such a great visual, right? The childlike that says, I don't want to go in order. I just want to do them all now. And you're like, and then the parent inside is sitting there going, oh, good. We're going to get to the penthouse in about, there's only 94 floors that you've now pushed. So I found this wonderful quote at the last minute. I wanted to share it with you about this whole idea of the elevator consciousness and going up. But it really goes up and it goes down, obviously. But the elevator is all about elevating. It's about rising up. Actually, when you're going down, you're not actually elevating. It's not really elevator. Elevator is based so it can take us up. But we've all been down, up and down a few times, but this one says, while pure consciousness is a formless potential, as individuals, we all experience life at different levels. We could agree on that. It's like being in a glass elevator. This world looks different depending on what floor we're on. And the elevator of our personal consciousness goes up and down all day long. When our level changes, our view changes right along with it. The higher our level, the clearer our view. A glass elevator. I'm not the best person with heights, just to FYI, and I went to look at that. I thought, why, Patrick? Why are you afraid of heights? Or why does that make you nervous? Especially I remember in the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. Everyone, we would go over there in high school when there wasn't a class. And we would ride that elevator, and I remember thinking how exciting it was, but how frightening it was at the same time. Because when we're down here, there's a security. Because it's like right here. It's right here. The moment you start ascending, as it were, and you're in the glass and you start to see it all, and your view starts to get so big. It's like right now I'm just like goosebumps, God bumps all over my body, just visualizing it to show you as I'm starting to think about going up in that glass elevator where I was right here, and I'm starting to think, oh my God, there's so much more than what I was looking at right here. And now I have this bird's eye view that that makes me feel much larger than I was before. That's why they say, remember that wonderful business quote? It's very lonely at the top. Right? It's very lonely at the top because it's the unknown. And we're afraid to go there at times. So our question that has already been asked is, what is our next floor of consciousness? And it's individual and it's also collective. So what inspires you is the question. What inspires you? What inspired you to get up this morning and come here? Besides the fact you made a reservation, and you know we'd be calling you if you were not here and did not cancel that reservation. I digress. You can always get something in there. Now, last month, I talked a lot about greatness. Remember the grandmother that said, time to get up. It's time to wake up to your greatness. Wake up to your greatness. And then we also talked about full access. That's what we're talking here. Full access. How do we take full access of it? I don't think I could get by with this talk today without talking about something that inspires me. Sometimes desperation leads to inspiration. Has that ever happened for you? You finally had enough is enough, and it leads you to inspiration. I think that's what Rita was talking about as well. Don't let it fool you what's looking all desperate out there. But I want to talk a little bit about John Robert Lewis, who inspires me, who left us this week, and I wrote this down today. We did not lose the inspiration. We lost the man who inspired a nation. I want you to say that again. We did not lose the inspiration. We just lost the man who inspired a nation, and we didn't even lose that because it's like Christ consciousness. He left that with us. So who was John Robert Lewis? Was an American politician, and I shouldn't even have to say it, but just in case. a civil rights leader who served in the United States House of Representatives for Georgia's 5th Congressional District from 1987 till last week when he transitioned. Wow. He inspires me. President Obama did his eulogy. I don't know if any of you got a chance to watch it or listen to it, but I just wanted to pull a few inspirational things out of it. He said that John believed in all of us. There exists a capacity in all of us for great courage. That in all of us there is a longing to do what's right. That in all of us there is a willingness to love all people. Oh, I have to say it again. That one is the one that kicks butt sometimes. He's talking all people, not just the ones that are right in the like-minded division, all people. And to extend them their God-given right to dignity and respect. Whew. Do you believe that? John Lewis believed that. Believed that when I'm thinking to myself to try to get through things that I'm thinking, that's kind of the first time I've talked about John this week. He believed in us when we didn't believe in ourselves. He believed in it so much, not just believed in the civil rights movement. He believed in the human spiritual movement. He believed it, and it was worth it. As many times as he got arrested, and many times as but he didn't, it wasn't about, look how many times I got arrested, man, I was beat up, and no, he was saying, I believe that this is worth it. Because I believe in something much deeper than just the politics. He believed in our spirit. But what about them? Right? I go, oh, I get it, John. But look what they're doing. And I bet John would say, as all great mystics, we're not interested necessarily in what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you being? Wow. And I'm going to tell you, I don't even know as much about John, so if you're sitting there going, well, I wasn't that involved in it, well, it's okay. I wasn't either. Sometimes people have to transcend before you find out who they are. Jesus did a little bit of that. Just saying. I'm telling you, it just lives within me. For all of you who wonder. John always, this is what he said about John, President Obama. John, I just love that sound, President Obama. But anyway, that's it. John always saw the best in us. And he never gave up. And he never stopped speaking out because he saw the best in us. He believed in us when we didn't believe in ourselves. And I think that all the great mystics, all the wonderful people are channeling through us right now that says, we did what we had to do. Now it's your turn. It's your turn now to do it in a different way. We can't keep, I remember yesterday I was thinking, sometimes when we're so stuck on the opponent and the things that aren't working, I actually fill myself up with the very hatred that I'm trying to actually move aside with love. Because I get so worked up about what they're doing. And don't they see how stupid this is? And don't they see how, if they were only me, they could just soar. And I'm thinking, no. I got to take care of me. And then people say, it's not about us anymore. It's about the good of the whole. Yes. But if this piece of the whole doesn't think he's worth it, or doesn't think anything's worth it, and I can't love myself, there is not a way in this world I will ever be able to do any good on this planet. And they say, well, no, a parent will say, I'll love my child first, and I'll do, and I get that too. But unless we love ourselves first, and John had to have loved himself to be able to do that, because I'm going to tell you, some of the stuff he did, I'd be scared. I'm thinking, could I have done it? But that's not what Patrick's journey is. I have another journey. I have a Patrick journey. I have a spiritual journey that's mine. And we cannot do this. We will not be able to change. I hate to be a mood killer, buzzkill in my day. Oh, wow. Another thing that should have stayed a thought comes out words. We cannot do this from a place of judgment. Oh, I wish it could work. I have been trying. I have tried over and over and over again to judge you first so that I could, first of all, let you know how right I am. And then, and you say, but there are certain things that he was fighting for as well that really did require that kind of force. But he got all of his stuff from Martin Luther King at about 15 years old or something, I believe it was. He looked at this man who said, they're gonna slap you. They're gonna yank you out. And I don't want you to do anything about that. I don't want you to fight back. And I don't know about you, but when I went home, my dad said, I said, they're picking on me. He was like, well, did you pick back? I said, no, because I was scared. I'm scared. I was scared of the bully. This is also from our John Lewis, says, do not get lost in the sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, a year. It is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble. Ooh, let's just dance with good trouble for just a minute. I've been to some good trouble in my days, just so you all know. Good trouble. I love it. And that's not justification for anything. It means that sometimes you just got to say what you got to say. Sometimes you got to stand up for what you believe. And I think that that's a big challenge for many, many, many people these days. I know that the religious and the spiritual, I'm going to tell you, if anything has been tough for this spiritual being, it has been that part of it. About how do I speak up for what I believe and still open the door wide enough for everyone to enter. And I've had some sleepless nights. Well, actually, not too much sleepless. By the time I get to that bed, it's kind of like, thank you. So we're raising consciousness, and when we raise our consciousness, we make people uncomfortable. There's nothing. I saw this cartoon or something this morning about, he says, he hit him over the head, and he was like laying, he goes, what'd you do? He goes, man, he was raised his consciousness so high that I didn't know what to do. And that's what happens. Sometimes we raise our consciousness, and it's like, what happens if I raise my consciousness and I'm going up in the elevator and I get to the penthouse, love penthouse, and there's nobody there? Well, then the mini bar is all yours, man. I mean, then the mini bar is all yours, all the little thing. Look at me all like back in my flashbacks from my sacred youth. But I loved what Beckwith said about comfortability and about spiritual leaders, and I'm taking it on as well. You did not come here, he said. He asked for a channeling. You know, he gets very downloading it in, and he said he wanted to ask, what am I going to do with all of what's going on? And he said, the voice within him said, you did not come here to just comfort the inflicted, but you came here to inflict the comfortable. And all I got to say, looking around this room, we've been inflicted. If you thought you were comfortable before, woo-wee. Ooh, that penthouse looks kind of good right now, doesn't it? Get all the way up there, bird's eye view. Yeah, sometimes our consciousness makes you uncomfortable. I love this idea of the elevator. I just love the last minute, 4 o'clock in the morning, little things that appear for me. It says, life is like an elevator. Sometimes on your way up, you need to stop and let some people off. Say that again. Uh-oh. That's how we're in. Oh! What, did you think I wasn't going to zang you before I left? Life is like an elevator. Sometimes on your way up, you need to stop and let some people off. And I even added to this. Sometimes when you're the elevator, sometimes when you're on your way up, you need to stop and let some of the old disempowering thoughts and beliefs off. That's the only thing stopping us from moving up there. And you know what? You may get the mini bar, but you don't get any extra rewards. It's not about how far can I get up so I can be better than you. It's about how far can I elevate? How far can I allow my consciousness so I can reach my hand out to you and bring you with me if you choose. I do a lot of work with the inner child and a lot of session works, and sometimes, and this is something you have to really be with. Sometimes what I see in you, you haven't seen yet. It just recently happened. I saw potentiality that was just, beaming out like such a light. Truly needed sunglasses. And this person, and I knew it, you know it without words. I scared her. I told her who she was and all the potentiality. And she said, oh my God, I'll be right back. Please don't push the next floor. Don't push the next floor. And I had to sit with that because that father in me, that spirit in me is like, oh, my little girl's so close. And she says, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go there now. And so the other part of us wants to go, but you don't understand if you really do, and I'll defend it. And then all of a sudden you walk away and go, I'm so drained right now. Well, you're drained because we're all energy. And I'm trying to give my energy where it's not needed right now. But what do? You say, what do you do? So, well, if you don't want to, no, you say, oh, I'll stay right here on this floor. But I'm going to go up. I'm pushing the penthouse of consciousness. And anytime you're ready, you just come to me and you say, or go to anyone and say, next floor, please. Because I love you. And that's what is beautiful for all of us, and I'll close with that. We're all on the same elevator. But we're all pushing a little different buttons. And so when life feels like you pushed all of them at the same time, and you feel like you're short-circuiting, just take a deep breath and say, I'm exactly on the floor that I need to be today, in this moment. I love you. I love you. And so it is.
Hello. Okay, thank you. So I have this beautiful, it's called A Treatment for Money. And I think we could all hear it right now. It's by an amazing man named Raymond Charles Barker. If you read his book, The Power of Decision, most people, a lot of people in this congregation have taken the class with us. But anyway, he's really straightforward, and he's really steeped in principle, and he really trusts it. And I just want you to listen to what he says, because I think it's really cool, and it will help us in our individual lives. It'll help us in our center. And here we go. He calls it the treatment for money. First, he says, I now subconsciously accept this treatment. There is only one creative cause, God. There is only one mind, God. There is only one life, God. There is only one substance, God. This present universe is the glory of God. It is a moving, flexible, fluid creation. It is alive with the life and abundance and the richness of God. I abide in prosperity. Mind created me in order that it might act through me. Therefore, I am receptive to its abundance. I am receptive to its circulation in my life in the form of money. Money is God's idea of circulation in my world of finance. I accept this idea completely. I appreciate this idea. I like it. Money being God in action is absolute good, and it is wholesome. It is a blessing to humanity, and I am now prospered with it. I have no fear of lack, for I believe that I have plenty of money. It is God's activity in my world. It is God's activity in my bank account. It is God's activity in my investments. It is God's activity in everything to which I lay my hands. This money is flowing. This money is free, and I do not attempt to lock it up. I do not put a fence around it. It's God's money. I let it flow. I let it flow out. As I release it, I know that it comes back to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I rejoice in it. I am now free in money. I appreciate it, and I thank God for it, and I have money forevermore. And so it is. Amen. Raymond Charles Barker.
There you go.
Let's sing and thank for our prosperity.
This is at the bookstore.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Thank you. Woo!
So our hearts are filled with inspiration and gratitude today for these beautiful words that have been shared with us by Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick, by the music, by the flow of energy in this beautiful center for spiritual living, Kauai. And so as we have been given, we also give, and we are blessing these gifts right now, knowing that this abundance that we are circulating is the abundance of the universe. It is unlimited. It is always flowing, and we always have more than enough flowing over in every moment. And so with love and gratitude, we simply join together and say, and so it is.
Thank you, Dr. Peggy. Thank
And
you,
a
everyone.
special thank
you.
you to everyone here and to everyone online. We have a lot of support on the mainland, and it just feels it connects us so globally, and it's so beautiful. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank you. And if you have been watching today and you have been fed spiritual food, because we're a spiritual restaurant, there is a donate button, and all you have to do is just pop it there. He's got it right up there, and give whatever you can. And these days, a lot of people, we don't talk a lot about where we're at financially. We this month was a little tighter than all the months, but let me tell you something. We have been doing wonderful since March. But someone said, you guys seem like you're just thriving and you never talk about, well, you know, we are a center that talks about thriving, not just surviving. But it's also important to let the kids know that we've been doing well, but it's been it's the first of the month, as my mama used to say.
Like I said, it always shows up.
It always shows up. But people, I think if we're going to be family, that we should be able to absolutely say where we're at, and we're in a really good place, and that we celebrate. But we're in a place that we can always do more and have more and be more. So thank you. Thank you. We start with gratitude, and that's what grows everything.
Great, thank you. So let's say hello to our children today that might be online or might not be online, but we can just put it into the field of energy and let them know who they are. You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. Mwah. We do. And then also our prayer line is on there, our spiritual mind treatment line, 755-9177, area code 808. If you need a practitioner or would like to have a prayer, please call that number. If you want to have a session with someone, which is a very powerful, amazing thing, a spiritual coaching session, spiritual counseling session, please contact that number and let us know, and we will connect you with the practitioner of your choice or refer you to someone, or just leave a prayer request there. We can all use spiritual mind treatment. I use it every single solitary day, and it's better to use it. It's better to use it when you don't think you need it than when you're waiting. You know, when everything's going on.
Being prayed up.
Being prayed up,
Yeah.
Exactly. So just a couple of little things.
What's happening Tuesday, Rita?
Well, wait. I want to just say. Well, okay, I'll tell you.
So you have to go with that now, because I already went in.
All right, I know that's an acting exercise. You always say yes in improv, right? Okay. So Tuesday is the Women's Circle. We're almost filled, so we are going to have an evening with Joe Dispenza. We're going to listen to a talk, and we're going to discuss it after, and it should be 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Please do not. I'm going to say Tuesday. I'm sorry, I said Wednesday. Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Reservations only. Let me say something about the reservations while I'm there. Please email your reservation. Do not text me. Do not call, because it gets lost. Email it. Just email it, all right? And then if you have to cancel, just cancel. That's fine. But please don't expect me to remember a text, because for some reason they're getting lost. I don't know why. Somebody said they've been trying to call and they didn't get through, and I'm like, really? Okay. So just email. It's easy. And if you don't have a computer, get somebody to do it for you. Today, you get the opportunity to sign up out there for next Sunday. So do that, but not the Women's Circle. Please just email me, all right? And it's because there's only a few spots left. Thank you for your patience and understanding. I do want to say that. Thank you, because
we're all doing this together. We're all learning.
Yeah, we're
at the
all
same
in this.
pace.
We're all learning, and we're just doing it. Anything else?
Yes.
Oh, the Zoom. Oh,
Zoom. You can Zoom them.
okay. We will have hospitality Zoom, but we're going to limit it now to once a month. So it will be the first Sunday of every month. So it will be today. So all of you online that want to join us on hospitality Zoom, just give us a chance to get there. Probably around 25 of 11 will be there.
We
And
figured
that's it.
as we start to integrate us back into our community, that we don't have to do it every Sunday on Zoom and split ourselves up. And then also, just a little bit, we're doing very well, but I wanted to talk just about, you guys have been doing wonderful with the protocol of coming in and then going out with the masks on. Every day's a new day here. And so we just really appreciate all of your cooperating with this thing that we're doing. So when we're socializing at the end, we still need to be social distancing. So like a father says, I can't say anything if you're not in here and you're out there or you're out in the parking lot all talking and doing all your thing in the beautiful sun. I wouldn't know what you were doing. So I'm just letting you know but please, we still have to do the social distancing and really to honor that, especially afterward. And another thing, telethon. Who remembers Jerry Lewis? Raise your hand. Lady. Okay, so what's happening is we did not do a fundraiser this year because we couldn't go to Lidgate and we had all that. So we're going to do one, but it's a telethon. It's not a live thing. It's going to be right on there for 5 hours. And what's happening is we're getting local talent, and we're music people doing talks, and they're going to come in little shifts and do it. And then the wonderful Charles Woolfork and I will be emceeing all through the hours. And it's just another way for us to raise not only our consciousness, but raise funds for the center and connect outreach with our wonderful community, and lots of music, and people on the mainland will be able to. And we're starting it at 10 in the morning to 3. So if you juggle or do anything like that, you can talk to us about,
talk to Melissa or
or
yeah.
Rita. So anyway,
Well,
we're
it
excited
doesn't-
about that, and it's on September 19th. So tell all your friends that don't live here on the island, and it's for a wonderful cause, and that is us.
That's it. So I think we're ready.
Us.
Yeah, for our expansion. 'Cause
Our
We
expansion.
are expanding. All right. Are we ready for our closing?
Is
yeah,
that-
let's
yep.
do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember just who you are, oh remember your being of the stars, oh remember the wisdom within, oh remember all the joy you can bring, oh remember we can have peace on earth, oh remember all that you are worth, oh remember all that you know, remember seeds take time to grow. Remember, remember all that you are. Remember, remember, remember the power of love.
So I am remembering right now everything that's taken place here today, knowing that it has been edifying for all of us, that we have raised consciousness. And I'm so grateful for that. Grateful for everyone who served today. I thank Ron Stover back there, and Rob, and Jonathan, and Roseanne, and Charles, and this beautiful music team today, Luis and Maria Christina. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone that's helped today. And the Malama team, wherever you are, just you can rise up for a minute so I can remember who's the Malama team. There you are, acknowledge them. Yay, thank you. Thank you for everyone who stands in service, who comes here, who watches us online. I'm so grateful. We are raising consciousness. So let's just take this information that we had today that resonates to us, just whatever resonates to us, and bring it out into the world and continue to raise consciousness, our own and those around us, and just be that beautiful blessing. I know that we are. And so I just let that go. I let that be so as I release my word, and I say, and so it is.
Remember just who you are, oh remember your being of the stars, oh remember the wisdom within, oh remember all the joy you can bring, oh remember we can have peace on earth, oh remember all that you are worth, oh remember all that you know, remember seeds take time to grow. Remember, remember all that you are. Remember, remember, remember the power of love. Remember the power of love. The power of love.
And I am remembering Dr. Peggy, who I forgot
Yes,
before. Thank you.
thank you.
Everyone. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Peggy. Thank you.
It's all remember.
Aloha.
Next floor, please.